I remember when the One Piece live action was announced, I was like, oh, oh no, this is gonna be awful. This is gonna be bad. We're cooked. We're cooked. And then it came out. And then I'm like, we're so back. We are so back. This is a banger. This is a banger. This is a good show. This is awesome. Oda cooked here. I think the reason why the One Piece live action was so good is because Oda was involved. Oda, had a direct input in what happens. He gave them like strict rules on what not to do. And the people involved in making the show, in my mind, they seemed very respectful of One Piece. And they had like a lot of consideration for what they should and shouldn't do. Right? And I feel like the cast also were very big One Piece fans. So going into the Avatar live action, I was a bit more optimistic than most live actions because obviously with the ones we gotten in the past, they've been you know, really bad. But One Piece recently was obviously a banger. This is like a great show where it respected a lot of the things that the original did, changed a few stuff, but at the end of the day, I feel like it still was that One Piece story. It was still One Piece. That was One Piece. So going into the Avatar live action, I was a little optimistic. But like the One Piece one, I didn't want to compare it too much to the original because I knew they were going to make changes, and I'm all for changes in shows, to be honest. I like, because I've already seen all of One Piece, for example, right? I had seen it all. So seeing something slightly different or some things being changed in the live action, I was okay with that. I like those changes. As long as it doesn't like compromise the main story, it doesn't ruin things, which I don't think the One Piece live action did. So, with that mindset, I went into Avatar The Last Airbender Netflix edition. And it was something. And I will be telling you what that something is in my non spoiler review, which starts now. So, the writing, I think it's super duper weak. Towards the beginning, I think that there is a lot of exposition. There's a lot of awkward dialogue in between characters. I think that they just kind of screwed it up a lot. It feels like it treated the audience in a very dumb and stupid way, as if we couldn't like just connect dots without them having to just outright say it. Like there is this one scene that I think depicts it like perfectly. So essentially there's a scene where they're at a funeral, right? But there's these two characters, random characters, don't matter, you never see them again, walking away, and essentially what they say is exactly what's happening. They describe everything in the scene, the emotions of blank characters, and it was just bad. It was just bad. I felt like I was stupid. It felt like they were treating me as if I was stupid. And I'm like, what? Like this is awful. Like this is bad. Like this is terrible. That right there, that moment was terrible. Now the good thing is about that moment is that it was at least the last time I felt like they treated me as dumb, stupid, and a stinky little guy. Cause afterwards I think the show improves tremendously. But this was by episode 4. The first 4 episodes of this show I think are not good. I think they have moments that are cool and some changes that were made that are cool. And there are changes overall throughout the entire show that I think is cool. Like, for example, we get to see more of the avatars, like the previous ones. And I think that's cool because you don't get to see as much of them in the actual animated TV show. And this gives us a new perspective on them. You see something new about them. And I like that. That's good. I like that. But outside of those like little moments that they change, there's also some bad changes, like some scenes that should not have happened that early on. I'm not going to get specific into what it is, but some scenes that shouldn't have happened, some changes that I don't agree with, character arcs erased, like Sokka's whole misogyny arc. I think that was something that they should have kept in. Something of like Sokka developing, his character changing. I think it would have been cool to see it still in there. And I don't know, a lot of the characters felt flatter because they had to remove so much. Aang's like carefree nature was removed. They got rid of it. And you know what? It's a different show. It's not the Netflix, or it's not the animated version. And I guess this is how it is. It's how it be. And once I kind of like accepted that, I didn't feel as mad anymore. I was still frustrated that they got rid of so many of the good stuff that were in the animated version and replaced it with things that weren't just as good in my mind. But it is what it is. I think after those first 4 episodes, the show improves tremendously. I think that the show like takes like it goes from being like really bad to like, okay, I actually kind of enjoy this. This is actually kind of fun to watch. I think that the writing improves a lot. They assume that the audience isn't as stupid anymore. The just everything. I think it also gets paced a lot better because the pacing of the first 4 episodes is atrocious. It is so like quick, and they also combine arcs. They should not be doing that stuff because it's just bad. Like, don't combine those storylines that don't belong together. It's too messy. It was too messy. But fortunately, towards the second half, it's all fixed. It's like I don't even know, they adapted. It's like Mahoraga, bro. I don't know. I don't know what like happened, but they just did it. And that's good. It's good that they did it. And I enjoy the second half a lot more of the show. And I like the characters. I like the people they casted for those roles. Towards the beginning, I was a little like, I don't like these guys. I don't like them. But then towards the second half, I'm like, actually, I vibe with this. I like this. This is actually pretty good. They do a good job. I think they did a good job. They capture a lot of those like Zuko, for example. They capture so much of his angst, I guess, and so much of his like frustration in the role, and so much of what makes Zuko Zuko. I saw a lot of people complaining online about how he's like too whiny, too whatever. It's like, that is Zuko. Like that is him. Like there's a reason why all that shit happened, you know? This is before he like matures and stuff. So I liked it. I think it was good. I think it was overall pretty good character wise. Writing wise, it was very weak, but then it gets better. It improves a lot. The audience is treated less dumbly. Like maybe we understand something. And I think my favorite character overall would have to be either Iroh or Commander Zhao. I think their actors did a good job. Iroh originally I wasn't really sold on him, but later on he improves a lot. He gets a lot better in my mind, and I enjoyed it a lot. So that was nice. That was pretty good. It meant that like even though the show started off weak, it ended strong. And I liked it. I liked some of those changes they made later on as well. I didn't mind like how they adapted it later on. It was just cool. Yeah, it was just cool. I liked it. I liked it. I didn't mind. Now, speaking of things I didn't mind and I actually liked a lot, I think how the bending looks visually is actually really nice. I think they did a great job with the bending. It looks good. It just looks good. And there's not much else to say about it. It just looks good. The only thing is that the water bending towards the beginning felt kind of like weak. It didn't feel like as substantial, which I guess in a way makes sense because, maybe Katara was still learning how to bend. But even then, like even later on, it still felt kind of weak comparatively. Water never felt like that strong when they were bending it. So I wish it kind of gave water bending a bit more like, oomph. But overall, it was okay. It wasn't like anything bad, like really bad. It was just like, okay, it's fine. It's fine. So I'm at least happy they did that part right. And then with the actual music of the show, I think I don't know how you could like fail, to be fair, with Avatar music. The bass you already have is phenomenal. And I think they did a good job with the music. The scores overall was just good. It was good. Yeah, it was just good music. I've talked about this for like 10 minutes now. My thoughts on the show. How I felt about individual things. And I'm gonna give the review or the score at this point. It's awkward because I think that this is like two different shows or two different seasons of a show in a way. Of like the first half being really, really bad, the second half being like good. Good. It's good. So I think maybe I'll split it up. No, I won't. I'll just give it an overall score. Oh, God, this is hard. Oh, I don't know, cause I'm so conflicted in my head. I had a score originally in my head, but it keeps on changing. Cause I'm like, man, the first 4 episodes were bad. like pacing wise and all that, they were like really bad. I'm gonna split it up. I'm gonna say the first half of this show is like, oh man, it treats you like a baby. It actually treats you like a child. It's like a 4 out of 10. I think it's really not that good. I think it disrespects the audience way too much. It wasn't ever like super duper bad. It didn't ever, went to Madam Web levels of bad. And then I think for the second half, I'll give it like a 7. Honestly, I enjoyed it. I really did. I liked it. I liked the characters. I think that overall the original animated TV show is much better. And I've seen it recently, so I don't just have like, oh, nostalgia bias. I also have like, I watched it recently. I think it's just a lot better. I think that the original show is like easily like a 9 to a 10. I don't know if I'd say a 10 because there are some moments. I think the show like really picks up towards the second half of it for the actual like animated one. But like the original animated show, I just think is like so good, which why it is so hard to make a live action version of that, because you already have peak. It's kind of hard to beat peak. It's really difficult. But I think they did an okay job. I wish that the original creators had stayed on, and that they had probably got in their way, because it could have been better. But for what we have, it's all right. Overall, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Let's just go with a 5 out of 10. Let's just average out whatever the fuck I said earlier, and let's just go with a 5. But yeah, guys, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. This is a new channel, so I would appreciate if you guys would like and subscribe, because I'm just getting started. I would yeah, I just appreciate it a lot. And if you guys want to give me some thoughts on what you guys thought of the show, put it in the comments. Let me know. Maybe you feel like differently. Maybe you're like, Kenj, you're stupid, bro. This show was garbage. It was trash. And to be fair, the people I was watching it with did believe that. They thought it was trash, garbage, and they were like haters. They were like big haters. So I kind of get if you don't like the show. But I think it's because they also were very diehard fans of the original. I think that if you are a diehard fan of the original, you will not like this one as much, because it changes so much. And it is just so different. And in so many ways, it is worse. And especially in a show like Avatar, that the original did treat the audience as if they had a brain and that they were smart. So it just feels it just feels But it is what it is. Give me your thoughts down below. And I'll see you guys in the next thing I review, which might come out sooner than you think, potentially, possibly, maybe. Yeah. Have a good one.